Hello everyone, my name is Elizabeth Dodge and I'm with Stock and Option Solutions, and today we're going to do a demo of the goal seek function, a way that you can use Excel to model and change numbers, change various attributes of a calculation to come out with something you're trying to get to. You're seeking a goal, so you're going to use the goal seek function. The example I'm going to use today is modification accounting. Not too long ago a client came and they were having an executive grant that they wanted to modify, and we did the modification accounting in Excel because most of the systems can't do it, and we came up with a before fair value. This is a type 1 modification for vested shares. We did the Black-Scholes calculation, put all the inputs in, came up with the option value and the before fair value. Did the same thing with the attributes we were going to be changing. In this case, they were going to be extending the term for exercisability from, I think, a short period to a longer period. An expected term went up by about 5 years. And you can see that the total value after was significantly higher. We're subtracting the total value before from the total value after to come up with the incremental expense, which you can see is about $251 million. Not million, thousand, $251,000. So then the client said, oh, well, that's interesting. Is there any way you can get that number down to under $10,000? And at first I thought about it and thought, well, there are a number of things you could do. You could not extend the term so far. You could not do, so you can play. And I actually used the goal seek function on a number of different scenarios and said, what if you only extended it by 2 years? What if you granted fewer shares in the replacement? We used to see this a lot with the option exchanges a few years ago. You'd give them a new price, a lower price, but you'd also give them fewer shares. And they had to agree to it because you were giving them sort of an investment decision, so it wasn't a unilateral decision. It was something the participant had to agree to. But in any case, so the way to use goal seek in this case is to put a multiplier on here, 100%. This is if I used the outstanding shares originally, I have 100%. But now I'm going to use the goal seek function. I'm going to go to the Data tab, pull down the What If Analysis menu, and say Goal Seek, please. And I'd like to change this cell, set this cell to $10,000. I'm going to type that number in, 10, 1, 2, 3. And by changing this percent, what if I just granted fewer shares? And I'm going to say OK. And there we go. Sure enough, you can see just by changing the number of shares, not the number of shares that I'm modifying, but if I re-grant, when I do this modification, fewer shares, 91% of the shares instead of the full 100%, I've actually gotten that incremental expense down to $10,000, which is what the client was shooting for. So you can see that this can be a useful calculator or scenario modeler for a number of different scenarios. Modification accounting is one of the more common ones I've used it for, but it can come in handy in all kinds of modeling that you might want to do for your stock plan. And that ends our demo today. Thanks very much for listening. Bye-bye.